This is episode 5 of Connections at Camano Commons with my son, Brandon Ericson. Hello, this is Jeff Ericson, owner of Camano Oil and Coffee Roasters and Camano Marketplace. And I am with my son, Brandon Ericson. And well, what a great treat. I never thought we would be sitting next to each other talking about our companies since I tried so hard to get him to go out and work out in the real work world, which he did, but then came back. So welcome, Brandon. Good to have you here.
Yeah, nice being here.
All right, I got lots of questions to ask you, and I think it'd be a fun, interesting conversation. So first of all, everyone sees you running around the commons doing all kinds of stuff. What exactly do you do around here?
When I started here, there was a little bit of an opening for me to jump into, and it was with our smoothie-based company, Frozen Explosion. So I immediately was like, all right, I'm ready, let's jump into this. I started going down that path a little ways. I did many trips to Guatemala. I was doing that about for a week amount of time every month. And then as I was doing that, Jeff was back home thinking up other projects for me to do. And slowly but surely, I've taken over little bits and pieces of all these different projects. So at this point, I work in the accounting department. I run the accounting department. When you receive emails and stuff from the marketplace, I'm the one writing those. As we do marketing ventures for different companies, I help out in some of those. And most recently, I'm helping out with the farmers market now as we start getting that all set up going. So.
And you did the project management and startup of the ice cream.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Brandon's title would be, just kind of catcher of all things that fall through the net would be a good way to put it. What a dream job. You know, for someone like me that likes to handle 50 projects at one time, it's an awesome thing. But the problem is, as we do all those projects and create all those things, somebody has to catch all the details and make sure that it comes to fruition. So right. That's been your role. Mm-hmm. It's great. By the way, most people in our community don't realize that we also have a real estate company. We have a lot of real estate to handle and tenant relations to handle and so forth, right?
Right, yeah, we actually have multiple commercial buildings where we have different tenants. As you guys have probably seen, last year we were able to get 3 new restaurants open. We had Naked City Brewery and Hodgepodge and Brooklyn Brothers Pizza all open up last year. And the amount of energy and life that they've brought to this complex have been really neat to see. When we have events, we now don't have like 3 people show up. Like we max out parking. We have people everywhere. So it's been so much fun, and we hope to continue to grow that this year.
So you went to college to be an engineer. Mm-hmm. And how does your engineering skills, your college engineering skills, fit into your vocation that you have today?
There's actually a lot of crossover. Engineering teaches you a lot about breaking down problems, critical thinking, project management, and all of those skill sets. So a lot of the math, the mechanics of what I learned, a lot of the basic information, a lot of that doesn't help, but the implementation of every project and job that I work here, those skill sets help you in pretty much every aspect of life.
So one of the things that I feel like you've been very gifted with, and TJ also, my son-in-law TJ, who runs a coffee company.
Episode
4, is that I'm very visual, and I get an image fixed in my head, and then I frustratingly move towards that image to make it happen. And you and TJ both have the ability to listen to what the vision is and break it down into an architectural structure to make it actually happen. Did your engineering background help you with that, or is that something that you've just done your whole life?
I would say it probably more came from, growing up with you and everything. So I think the engineering does help to some degree, but I think there's also some communication that you just learn as you're growing up in a household. And so moving that communication, even though you kept work and family very separate in different buckets, your communication style was similar in both, and so I think that's helped in that. Sure.
What have you learned the most about me at work? Don't make it negative, please. We got customers watching. What has been the most surprising thing about work versus growing up with me?
I think for me, it's really seeing behind the curtain. I would say growing up, as a kid, you're always trying to, or as a parent, you're shielding your kids from, different things and different aspects, and you just want them to have kind of the best life you can provide for them. And so I had that as a kid, and now I see behind the curtain, and I see different things, and like how you come to decisions and how you choose to do some things, and then other things you're like, no, I don't think I want to put time into that.
So you learn it's not so much arbitrary decisions, but actually a process of critical thought.
Yeah, it's not so much the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, but seeing behind the curtain.
Yeah. So you also grew up hearing me talking to people, because I remember you'd give coffee speeches and coffee talks, and kind of at a surface level. But you grew up hearing us talk about creating a company that would support agricultural poor and help them in land ownership and so forth. Has more dimension of that been added since you worked in the company?
Yeah, and actually before I even started working with your company, I was able to go on one of the Agros vision trips. Agros doesn't believe in missions trips where you're actually doing work for the villagers, because they want the villagers to learn to work and support themselves. But they do allow you to go on these trips where you get to see the villages that have been built up by these farmers over time. And seeing that was a really neat experience for me. Someone who has done missions trips and worked with different groups that are more giving fish rather than teaching a man to fish. And it was such a drastic difference being in that versus the Agros village.
Right. So how do you feel our work here at Camano Island with the Camano Commons, with the Camano and Coffee Roaster, Frozen Explosion, the real estate? We have quite a few employees in aggregate that work in all of these companies. How do you feel that our philosophy of empowering people and training people has been manifested in our campus and in our projects here?
Well, I think that kind of bleeds through the entirety of all of our companies. All of our companies, we try and structure it so that people feel, when you're starting out, we give you the tools to get started and learn your job and things like that. But as we get moving, we definitely allow for growth within our companies. We definitely have held that belief that if you want to move up in the company, if you want to expand and do more, we have doors open, and we can always create new ideas and new things like the fudge and the ice cream and all these different aspects. Like, we can continue to grow this thing as big as we want to grow it. So, I think we allow our employees and such to see that there's really no ceiling to what they can achieve.
The other thing in our real estate, it's very detailed rules in our real estate for how we promote local business, not promoting necessarily national companies.
Right.
We want to show the best of capitalism, which for us is local business people in their community. Now you're taking that to the next layer, which is the farmers market, and actually supporting these very small micro businesses with their ideas to see where that can go. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the idea that we have is more farmers going and growing their stuff so close to home. And so we want to provide a platform that those farmers can show their wares and they can start building their own little businesses. And we've had some great farmers here, some that have been going on for just a few years, and every year they get bigger and bigger. So it's been neat to see that.
So have we now caught the cycle in our company of helping the farmers in the local community, the artists in the local community, the tenants in our spaces, the management, the employees that move into management, building our own companies, and now going into other countries and building businesses there? Are you starting to feel that cycle just continually repeats itself? That the field is leveled with excellence, hard work, good business ideas, and everybody gets an opportunity. Have you experienced that at all?
Yeah, I think within our community we've really tried to make it accessible for everyone in our community to be able to join in and to help build local business, the local economy, and really just improve what we have here.
have you noticed with Frozen Explosion also, which is our smoothie company, that it's a great opportunity for expanding into other countries and creating jobs even in other countries?
Yeah, I got to experience that firsthand working in Guatemala, getting to work with younger people that were being mentored by other people and like business people from their countries, and seeing them be mentored and then working with them. Being able to see all these young people get involved in this smoothie program that we started here at Camano Island.
So it's really comforting to know that I have two kids that are actually taking the reins in the business and doing even a better job than I ever did. And it makes it a lot easier for me to go have fun, teach classes, which I'd like to talk about in future videos. But I'm very appreciative, Brandon, that you're here, as well as TJ being with us. And I hope you continue to learn. I hope we continue to create jobs and develop people. And I hope more than anything, we create a customer experience on Camano that is very connective and warm, and that everybody feels a part of.
Yeah.
So, thank you for being with us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.